I'm going to keep this session short like the last one. Not the 9-second one. I have to delete that after this, but I'm pretty sick right now, so I'm just going to keep it short. If I can. I'm just like really, I slept a lot last night. And this morning I'm like, oh my god, I'm just dying over here. And it's like, my blood pressure was high, my head's pounding, I got a migraine from Planet Heck, my hair hurts, my body hurts, yeah. It's because the COVID and flu shot just gave me all the fun symptoms, you know? I really gotta stop doing that with my... I want to use the HP5 for a little bit. Let's go for that one. Thank you. I'm gonna make sure my doggo's got his armor full charged in case I need it. Okay, yep. Yesterday I couldn't use it in the last battle with those tanks and everything over in Ostermark because I used up all my chances. You know, I used up all three. You know, it's kind of interesting about that is that the devs must have tweaked the devs. Wow, that's different. Unless there's, no, it can't possibly be. The HP5 does not have the gas attack ability. That's gotta be a... Yep, that's what I thought. Okay, where is he? Oh, there he is. What the frickin' hell just tripped my... I don't see anything. Okay, I'm gonna go after the rival tank. Where is he? There he is. He's a level 4, alright. says that the fuel tank is good. You know, sometimes the old ways work best. 10 points. Triple backflip and boom, there goes. I'd say 20 points for the dismount. Yeah, there was a bunch of stuff downtown. But, um, ECU. Yeah, I know there's I know there's a battle going on. I can hear it. I just had to text my caregiver about what I need her to do because I'm totally sick. My head is pounding. Even doing this is draining me, but I want to get at least some gaming in before I have to go to bed again. I mean, it's just, you know, it sucks. Actually, I'm gonna hold on to that in case because I'm already low on my armor piercing. Whoops. That's a PMG. I'm gonna stick that PBG90 in my thing. My head. I slept good last night. I slept most of yesterday too. But waking up with a hangover and a headache and a migraine and all kinds of fun stuff. Dizzy. Try not to walk around so much. Oh my god, I gave her the wrong cards. It's the Everett Snow Owl card, not the Everett Library. Jeez. God. This is what happens when you're sick. I can't even believe this. Oh my lord. Okay. That's what happens when your brain's fried from the flu. You just can't think anymore. Can't even remember how to make a grilled cheese sandwich, but you managed to do it anyways. Look at so many cards. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? No. I think I'm going to swap out my armor piercing. Maybe not. Oh, a lot of backwash on that one. Yeah, it's important to have as much fluids as possible. Because when you're sick, it's important to drink a Oh good, they're fighting each other. completely missed the doggo coming out, so I had to avoid the physical attack from the Polaris unsuccessful. I still got nailed, but other dumbass, not me. Okay, asshole, you want to try this one? Yeah, no. That certainly does work. Oh, I see. I'm still in combat. Got it, okay. Sometimes you shove them over. Oh, there he is. I think I missed. Nope. It's this one down here. Oh, I see him. There we go. Yeah. The other two came down here. I think. Oh, pick those up. Oh, there's this one. Alright. I think I counted for all of them. Oh, God. Why is it that my cat never wants to... Oh, Jesus Christ, cats. I'm gonna start burying stuff. Extra weight just for right now. I'm going to end up collecting all of it back anyways. Holy Christ. I can easily just jump out the window and... Oh, this will be fun. Guys gotta watch this. If you don't really care much for ticks. And I don't. I think they're extremely annoying. And a pain in the ass. Alright. This is the fun one. Okay. Jump out of here. Back up just about. First open the door here. You step about this much. Hey, look, you're there goes your hat rack or coat rack. That's how you deal with ticks. In case you don't want to go through the trouble of having to crouch and fire or fight them for about 14 seconds. Yeah, that's a quicker way of dealing with it. Just go kaboom! But of course, the damage is pretty extensive. I mean, look at all your destroyed window slats and everything. Someone's gonna go, couldn't you at least be a little bit gentle? I'm like, yeah, okay. It's interesting, this ever since they did the last few updates, yeah, unless you're feeling adventurous, I wouldn't try. Of course, the sound's throwing me off because I can't figure out where it's coming from exactly. I'm usually this close. You'd usually spot it by now if it's that close. So my bet. Yeah, I know where he's at. Yep, he's directly beneath me. I mean, he is just like right there. Play Kenyan tag. Tag this guy. This guy's really persistent. Shit, I missed by 3 seconds. Well, he's on fire, definitely. Too jittery from my cold. Shit, I'll get this guy now, man. There were 2 of them? Oh, fuck no. Jesus Christ, what the fucking... care of the two Firebirds in that area for a while. They've always been there. I decided just, you know, smoke them when you got them. Caregiver has a actual Pong Atari 2600 system, and this one person was talking about it, showing me gifs of Pong in action, and I'm going, oh, I hate that game so much. We had a Pong Atari 2600 Pong system, and it was like playing that one, trying to get the ball to, you know, past the other player. Imagine in 40 years' time what people thought back then would think about the PlayStation 4 and everything else. They would be just like blown away. They'd be like, what the hell? You know, because nobody could possibly conceive something like this. But you look back on the game Pong and the Atari 2600, the graphics were just so, you know, archaic and obsolete. Simple 2-bit graphics, or whatever you want to call it. Back in those days, it wasn't even 8-bit graphics. It was way earlier than that, before the NES system came out. And what I remember was those things were selling for $400 back in the day because it was new technology. And when the Super Nintendo came out, it was pretty much the same price, a little bit more maybe, because it was a 16-bit graphics chip, the first of its kind. And then when Star Fox came out for the SNES, it was a $70 game because it used a graphics X chip, whatever it was, and its graphics visuals were pretty impressive for that day. Of course, no one could ever beat the Final Fantasy games for the Super Nintendo. I mean, hello. I suppose I can go after that one. Or I can do this one. Must be true. Shit, missed by 3 inches. Damn, this guy's hard to hit when it's... What the frickin' hell? I think I got him. I hate it when he's against the trees. Come on, dude. Wake your butt up and over here. Oh, there he is. Come on, Sparky. Out in the open here. Boy, don't you just hate these things? You know, instead of waiting for that thing to come out, I'm gonna go after it. I'm gonna spank his ass like a bad puppy. Come on, dude. All the chain fire. There he is. Dang, do I hate chicken. Okay, let's get the heck out of Dodge here. I see something on the horizon. And what is it? A pair of hunters. This should be interesting. Technically I'd be using the HP5 on this one, but I think I'm just going to go ahead. Well, it looks like they just got... Wow, they're actually running away from me. This is kind of funny. Hey, let's follow the leader here. Where'd he go? Guy's stuck somewhere. Oh, I see him. I see him. Yeah, I know he's close. He's extremely close. I can hear him. Oops. You would think that after that, the damn thing would have already died. It didn't. It just stood there rocking back and forth, and I thought I killed it. Apparently I didn't. Okay, that was kind of weird. Well, that is kind of weird, because it's just like, oh, okay, so you basically didn't die, but you are dying. You've already been killed, but you haven't been killed. And I'm just like, okay, so this is kind of weird. Yeah, I think there were only 3 in that mess. There we go, I found it. to, I'm gonna head over to, what's this one? I think I'll wait on that one. Go and finish your errand. Go, you know, get the things you need. You know, get Patty her V8 juice. Okay, it's fine. Go ahead and go finish your errand. Yeah, when it's that close. I mean, you can literally hear it. It's sitting right outside my doorstep. I'm gonna bring up my doggo here. I needed. Pretty fun. Yep, I hear him. He is literally sitting on top of this thing. I think. Nope. So where is he? At least he's on the other side. I know where he's at. I'm staring right at it. Since I'm down to only 145, might as well just yeah. There he is. He's got more firepower than a TIE fighter does. I'm skipping the whole area because I don't really... Not that I wouldn't mind. But I'm just going after a couple rivals. I mean, I'm just going rival central a little bit. There he is. Yeah, I don't know why I locked on this My dog is taking more damage than Not that the HP5 is good, but whoa. No, that's what we call fucking things up. Bring I'm over this area. haven't been up here in a while. Actually, I can't remember the last time I was up here. If it's been too long, it's been too long. Always a good idea to loot as many bodies as possible, because you don't know exactly what you're going to get, and sometimes you'll find some surprises, like that weapons crate that I didn't even know existed back here because I thought I got everything. Yeah, apparently well, good things come to he who waits. And that usually means something's in the area and it's pissing me off. Yeah. Something is definitely in the area. Also a good idea to recharge my sagging radios. I only had one left. Make sure I got everything. These would be kind of cool to have, you know, these kinds of tents, military grade, you know, all weather, all purpose tents. It's like the most awesome thing in the world. I got sniped. Yeah, this area is pretty much barren. Except right there. And you gotta crawl under here to get this. Yeah, down there is another area, but I'm not going to worry about it. Make sure I got everything. take off some of my bait here. That way. I'll have plenty of weights freed up. Head down here. Single one so far. Those of you who are new to this area, make sure you check everything thoroughly if you want. I still love these power tools. Where's my arm feel like it's been jacked? Just making sure. Okay. I have similar weight barbells like this, but they're detachable and padded, so I don't have to run the risk of, you know, calluses, having callus burns on my. So this is the thing that I had a problem with earlier. Point it down there, and kaboom kaboom. That's it. See, normally I just beam back at the stuff and beam out. Well, the problem is sometimes you'll end up in a pickle fight in the middle of getting your stuff. So the smart play is to hopefully you're not weighted down too much, like I am right now, and double back to your your backpack thing. Okay, let's see what I know this. Well, this is what you call being weighted down. That noise is the Phoenix base right above me. Ooh, I got an object penetrating vision module. Oh no, that's the... I thought the... Dude, if that was a freaking legendary explosive gas tank experimental. Oh my god. That would be hilarious. I got an experimental gas tank. What does that do? Just try it and find out. Wipes out everything in a 15 square kilometer radius. There's nothing left. Not even the trees. And I'm like, dude! So I ran across something in Facebook this morning talking about one of the father of the hydrogen bomb was talking about a weapon so destructive it was a gigaton type device. And the army, I believe, wanted to they didn't want to test it because it was so destructive. They said it would wipe out most it was an extinction level event if they tried building something like that, because this was during the Cold War, or in the early days of the Cold War, and it was called what was it called? Can't forget the. I wish I remember what it was called. It was called Sailfish or something like that. I'll have to look. Sundials. Okay, it was called Project Sundial, and they decided to try and they wanted to try and replicate it, but then they discovered it would be life ending for all life on Earth if it was ever conceived or constructed. And so, as a result, the Russians built something similar, Tira Bomba, something like that, and they tested that thing. It blew out windows 500 miles away. That's how powerful the blast was. And they decided that it was, it's the only known bomb to be tested up to that point, until the Moab was put into use during the second Iraq War, as far as I know. So they decided that it would be too deadly, so they shelved it. But the thought of a gigaton type device is just scary as hell. Because if the Russians had something, they tested something similar, it would just destroy all life on Earth. It'd be like a, Whoa, that was close. So, let's see if I can find the article on the Facebook page. I saved it. Alright, I didn't save it. Let's see. Gonna go here. Okay. Okay, so it says in 1954, the father of the H-bomb, Edward Teller, proposed a new 10 gigaton nuclear weapon known as Sundial. It would have had 200 times more powerful than the Tsar Bomba, the largest bomb ever detonated, and scorched an area the size of France or Texas. The project was cancelled by the Air Force, not the Army. In 1954, Edward Teller, one of the most influential yet controversial physicists of the 20th century, proposed an imaginably destructive weapon, a 10 gigaton thermonuclear bomb codenamed Sundial. Teller, often called the father of the hydrogen bomb, envisioned a device so powerful it dwarfed even the Soviet Union's Tsar Bomba, which itself remains the largest explosive ever detonated at 50 megatons. Sundial was calculated to release energy roughly 200 times greater, capable of vaporizing everything within hundreds of miles and causing global-scale atmospheric damage. Teller's idea stemmed from Cold War fears that the United States might fall behind the Soviets in nuclear capability, but the concept crossed a threshold even military strategists found unthinkable. The U.S. Air Force quickly shelved the project, citing its impracticality and catastrophic potential. It wouldn't just be overkill, it was a weapon that could alter the planet's climate and risk human extinction. The proposal highlighted Teller's deep belief in nuclear deterrence and the limitless reach of science, for better or worse. His relentless advocacy for advanced weaponry would later influence the creation of missile defense systems and continued militarization of atomic research. Added fact, the Tsar Bomba test in 1961 produced a blast so massive that windows shattered more than 500 miles away, and the shock wave circled the Earth 3 times, making Teller's Sundial concept all the more terrifying to imagine. Yeah, I don't think that's something we should be playing with. I mean, seriously. There's just... Even if science fiction creates antimatter warheads and fusion weapons and all this other fun stuff, to put it in practical use would be just scary as shit. It would be just... It wouldn't be worth it, in other words, you know? There wouldn't be a reason for this sort of thing to exist, because it would just end all life on our world as we know it, and it would just be extremely counterproductive. So, you know, it's something that we all have to be aware of. Yeah, we don't want to go into the gigaton range. That would be foolhardy. And no cave structure underground, probably under 2 miles, would survive. It would be like the Reaper's thermobaric blast times a million and explosive potential. If you think everything gets wiped out in 300 yards, try half the country. If it was Sweden, okay, in the game, Generation Zero, yeah, there would be no standing structure, nothing. It would vaporize, and of course you'd be dead too. I mean, before you spawn everywhere, but there'd be nothing left. You know, it's just completely unimaginable. Because I mean, even in science fiction, we create worlds, and then we create weapons that are beyond our imagination. And then one drop of whatever, the drop of the universe, if it was that powerful, you just drop it onto the world and it would just go like this, explode outwards like a supernova. Like, you know, like the Death Star blowing up Alderaan, or one of Goku's final attacks, you know, not as Kamehameha, but something even more powerful. And it would just be like, okay, we're screwed. And so it would be like, or one of Frieza's, attacks against Planet Vegeta, the explosion, the explosive ball, or whatever you want to call it, or when he cracked the planet Namek in half, he goes, "Oh, this old bird's tougher than it looks. I'll give it 2 more minutes before it explodes," because his attack destroyed the core of Namek, and basically, it wouldn't be on that scale. It'd be a lot higher than that. It'd be like a super god level moment. It'd be like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Did that one hurt?" um, it'd be like the anti-Monitor from the DC Universe series, Infinite Crisis on Infinite Earths, where the world gets annihilated by some antimatter event, and you can see it all going to white and everything, and it just disintegrates into nothing. That's exactly what it would be like. It'd be like, I mean, if an atom bomb can obliterate everything at the molecular level, and there'd be nothing left, not even ash, just imagine what a gigaton device would do. It not only crack the planet and destroy it at the same time, the shockwave would probably reach out into not only it would encompass the moon, destroy the moon, but it could also go, like, let's just say, for example, it reached halfway out to the orbit of Mars. I mean, halfway between Earth and Mars, like around in that area, and there would be nothing left. It possibly the shockwave, the after effects, could travel out further still and impact Mars to some degrees. But as the wave propagation goes outwards, the more energy is expended. So by the time it hits something, it'll be like a small nudge, or like, ding, check please, But beyond that, it would just be unimaginable, because we're always used to thinking about destruction on a regional scale or a localized scale, but sometimes global scale is even scarier. But the fact that we can end all life on Earth through a sundial type gigaton weapon, it's just like, who wants to do that? All these billionaires are trying to wreck the world and everything. They really want to end their lives and their riches to something that dumb. I mean, it's just, some people, I guess, they're just so unhappy and miserable. They just want to take the entire planet with them. I'm like, where's the fun in that? You're gonna die. So is millions of others, billions of others, if that were to happen. And what would it be accomplished? Nothing. You just have a lot of dead people and half a scorched planet or something, or a ruined nation, or whatever it is you're after. Whatever it is you're trying to accomplish or achieve, it'd be something like that. And it would just be, these people are sadists and sociopaths. And that's pretty much the sad part to that, because they just don't have any respect or care for life or anyone's lives. Those are the people you have to watch out for and try to keep in check or rein in. Unfortunately, our stupid-ass president decided he's going to demolish the East Wing of the White House, which is technically designated a historical landmark since it's been standing since the year 1792, and everybody on both sides are just super pissed at him, because he didn't consult Congress, he didn't consult anybody, he decided the next day to go and do it. It's like, you don't even follow the rules, you don't follow the laws, you don't follow the proper procedure, just go ahead and do whatever you want. I mean, after this, if we ever survive this, we're going to have to build new guardrails and a whole new system of doing things to prevent this from happening again, if we can. But if we have some people like that in office, they're just going to ignore the guardrails and everything anyways. What's the purpose? Because once you're corrupt and you think you're untouchable, then nothing else matters. You're not going to feel obligated to follow, even the most basic rules or the most basic laws. You're going to end up doing whatever you want. And that kind of defeats the purpose of having an established government or a democracy or anything of that nature. But I guess after 250 years, the United States had to You know, we eventually would be hitting this plateau or this point in our nation's history anyways. You know, it wasn't going to be too long. But the reason why this is happening now is because not only is our education system so broken, but also because the end of the Cold War spelled the end of the U.S. supremacy as a superpower in the global community. Once that happened, our status ended. And all these people are trying to resurrect the old Cold War by pitting the U.S. and Russia against each other again. And I've lived through the old Cold War, and I'm not the least bit interested in revisiting that nightmare again, because it was, when you're a kid growing up, a teenager in that era, why would you want to go through that again? Especially when people in this day and age, this generation, Zoomers and millennials, they were, by the time the Cold War ended, many of them were in the early 20s. They were not even, were just barely born, like 1 or 2 years old, and there was hardly any reason to revisit those nightmare years. And it's just frustrating that some people just never learn from history. They're just doomed to repeat it, you know. And it's just frustrating because these people shouldn't be in positions of power. And nobody wants to go through that kind of situation where we're at the brink of nuclear war because some dumbass thinks that'll be a glorious thing. You know, to reestablish the Iron Curtain, the red states, and, you know, the old Baltic states and nations and everything. And it's just, you know, we shouldn't have to be doing that to ourselves as a country. There's no reason for it. I mean, there just isn't. You know, this nation, this world suffered enough from nuclear nations who are actually it wasn't just there was also 12 other incidences where we nearly went to World War III, because I think a few years ago or something they found a was it down in South Carolina somewhere, on a beach somewhere, or it was offshore, I guess. I'm trying to remember exactly. But they found an unburied they found a nuclear weapon. No, it wasn't on the shores of South Carolina, excuse me. They found an undetonated nuclear weapon that had been dropped from a B-52 that went unnoticed for 50 some odd years. And so nobody noticed it till it was unearthed by accident. It wasn't triggered, it was just inert, which was fortunate because it did not go off. And it was one of the missing nuclear bombs that were supposed to have been transported to another airbase, but the B-52 lost one. You probably could find this on the internet and read it better than I can. I'm explaining it because that's my ability, but it's pretty scary how a situation like that could have resulted in a nuclear exchange. And there were other incidents. One was just declassified just not too long ago, where somebody, I think it was Russian, it was in the 80s, one of the Russian outposts or something had something went wrong during the fire change situation. This is not, and so they he had no direct communication or anything of that nature, and so he feared the worst by thinking that someone had pushed the button. So the guy was agonizing because the superiors were telling him to launch, and the guy was just saying, you know, maybe I should just hold off. But as the moments wore on, the guy was getting his superior was getting more and more, paranoid, and apparently they were very, very close to pushing the button at that point. And unfortunately for us, the guy held off until he could get confirmation. Then he realized it was a false alarm. But his radar capabilities suggested otherwise because the computer had displayed the wrong information, or it was glitched or did something. And so it was giving him the wrong information. And so it was just fortunate that it was a human decision, not a computer decision, that averted World War III at that point. But you know, there was other incidences where we were just seconds away from having a full-scale nuclear attack. Wow, somebody's pissed. Hey, you know what? I'm sorry I didn't mean to rain on your happy parade there, buddy. But that wasn't my fault. Whoa, I just took a direct strike and I just got through with it coming. Well, okay. See, this is why hunters are very lethal when you don't know what you're doing. Because they can just pig pile on you in about 40 seconds. See him. Let's swap weapons, shall we? Oh, this is nice. My base has been recharged. Sometimes you feel like, you know, really adventurous and you don't have any fear of certain areas anymore. You just want to go kick some butt. Yeah, that's me. Plus, the other area, I take out these 2 firebirds at the top of the mountain. I'm going, wait a second. You know, hiker's barrack. Yeah, that is like, yes, you're gonna have me do that. Thank you so much for that idea. See, I only took out the, well, I'm not talking about firebirds, Overby Air Base. I only went after a couple of things. But, yeah. Alright, there I got enough. Yeah, I got enough room to recycle. Think about radios, field radios. So if you know where everything is, you don't really have to stockpile in so many. You know, you could just keep. You have to at least keep 5 on your person at all times. That way, you don't have to worry about you know, overloading so much. You know, because, you know, as you know, radios take about pounds worth of weight. So you're carrying about 13 pounds of radios on your person like I just did. And that's just too much weight. There's something over here. doggo came into. What the hell? What do you do? Just kick his friend over? Good God. That was just straight up. I'm like, what the fuck? Kiss my grits, dude. I didn't exactly clear the bale of eggs. I forgot to recharge my doggo. Picking my doggo in. Under normal circumstances, I'd let my doggo out, but he's down to 7 points on his armor, and I'm like, I completely forgot to recharge him. Well, that was that doggo's over there, so I don't have to worry about it. companion station that's close by. Okay, it's this one. Well, one is close by that I can get to so that I can just recharge him and then... The fuck? Most of my neighbors dropped something heavy over my head. One last guy. Yeah, he's on the other side, not this side of the building, but he's pretty freaking close. So he's on my right side, not on in the logging area, but on the other side of the field. My guess is he's surrounded. Yeah, this isn't good either. Yeah, this is going to be ugly. Well, this is unusual. I've never seen anything close to the base like this. Seen anything like this in a while. Oh, I love Christmas trees all over the place. you. Fred. That was certainly fun. Go ahead and save after the unload. And save. I'm just gonna double check, make sure I got everything. Alright, now I got this guy. Sometimes they tend to... Yeah, I know, usually they do like... Go back to Ostermark. Wait till the... Interesting. So yeah, I guess I feeling a little better enough to play like crazy today. Just, it's the morning. It's just so hard to get it into gear, and like going. Hmm. I'm not just adding ebooks to my save list for my wish list. This looks interesting. So, okay. Yep. Okay, so there's that one. That's interesting. Cool. Got that one. Well, that's good because I just picked up a free Kindle book and I didn't even think about it. Nice. Book is called Archdep. I got so many other ones. Let's keep buying them. I've got 1,026 unread ebooks. I've only read 14. I've got one Audible. I don't know where that one came from. I've got 12 samples, 2 documents, and no hidden comics or manga. Not yet, anyways. I've been buying ebooks since 2016. Oh, man. La 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 la. Da, 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 da. Don't get me started. Don't make me sing this Knight Rider theme song, or Airwolf, or the greatest American hero, which I've got all 3 on DVD. Some little collections you find at Walmart about 10 years ago, 12 years ago. Pay $10 for them. Boom. Oh, the greatest American hero. Excuse me. 70s, early 80s show. Really good series. They were supposed to be making a remake recently, but they canceled it. The second spin-off movie show, whatever it was, it featured a woman that's inheriting the costume. Most fans just don't acknowledge it exists. Same with Battlestar Galactica 1980, which they will never acknowledge it exists. Which is so weird. It was just bizarre. The reboot series about BSG was actually pretty good. Kind of sad, but decent. Hmm. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's session. It was pretty intense and crazy and chaotic and fun and hilarious and painful, considering how many times I got blown back and forth like a paper doll, and died about more than 3 or 4 times, if anyone wants to count exactly. Because I don't know. I lose count every time I die. I'm like, how many times have you died? 26 times. Yeah. See, I got 374 advanced first aid kits, which, you know, you can no longer make, craft on your own without the refined materials. Which, you know, I can understand why the devs did that. They don't want to make things too easy for us. Alright, so just remember to save your game progress after each session, and I will see you guys later, assuming I'm going to be up. I'll probably be sleeping. You know how these colds go. Being sick sucks. So, enjoy your day.